Hi, everyone. I'm Denise Garth, Chief Strategy Officer at Majesco, and you're listening to the Future of Insurance Industry Leaders podcast series. Follow along as I interview the best and brightest leaders in the insurance industry and insurtech landscape to bring you the latest in digital transformation, innovation, industry trends, challenges, and opportunities, as well as next-gen technologies. We use our experience to anticipate what's next without losing sight of what's now. Stay tuned to find out your next now. Welcome, everybody, to today's podcast for the Future of Insurance. I'm thrilled today to have Marie Loughran, Executive Vice President of Customer Experience from Boston Mutual Life. We've gotten to know Boston Mutual Life and Marie and a lot of other people over the last couple of years, and just thrilled to have her joining me. So welcome, Marie.
Thank you, Denise, for inviting me.
So I like to start off every podcast because we're an industry that it seems like everybody knows everybody. I find that some people don't know everybody. So give a little bit of background about yourself, Boston Mutual Life, and our partnership.
Sure. Boston Mutual is a mid-sized life insurance company. We were founded in 1891, a long, long time ago. I started here in 1987, started in our issue area, so actually pulling state pages together for policies one by one to mail out to our policyholders as their policies. I've worked in many areas of the company, mostly in operations and customer experience, call center, training, all of those things. The last 4 or 5 years, I've found my way up to sales operations, so working on the sales side of things, to my latest role, which is heading up our customer experience team.
Boston Mutual Life has a long history in the market back in the 1800s. And I know when we began working with you guys, the system that you're on has been in place for over 50 years. It's not uncommon for the life and annuity health industry carriers to have lots of legacy, but that was really a long period of time. So talk about the drivers for your business transformation and how it's positioning you for the future and growth. You know, what was really impressive is you guys really were focused in initially to rethink your business model before leveraging the technology. Talk about what's going to be different. What were some of the challenges and opportunities to kind of rethink that?
Yeah, so Boston Mutual, like I said, has been around for a real long time. And we have a fun fact. The first office we were in was the site of Benjamin Franklin's birthplace. I mean, we are really embroiled in some history here.
Yeah.
Having all that history and being around for this long, it's really given us a good sense of what we do well, what we want to do, and who we want to do it for. But it also has provided us some lens into what don't we want to do and what aren't we good at. So with all of that in place, our legacy system held us back in many ways. We always talk about how our system, our employees are really focused on process. Doesn't give them a lot of space to be focused on the customer. It's a lot of process work. So with the Majesco system and trying to find a system, it gives us that opportunity to really focus in on our customers and have the technology take care of process. We look at the system as an opportunity to also look at our customers and how can we service them well, right? Today, we are very limited with the different ways that we can connect and engage with our customers. The world is moving fast. We all know this. Look at this. We're doing a podcast instead of a written magazine article, right? So things are changing fast and people want information fast. The Majesco system allows us to give real-time information, gives our customers and brokers and policyholders the ability to log into portals and get their policy information or their employer information. It just really opens us up to some different ways to connect with our customers. It also gives us the ability to start looking at new products that we can bring to market a lot quicker now because we don't have to, filing is its own thing, but actually being able to get that products stood up on your admin system is a whole nother ball of wax. So
Yeah.
we're looking forward to taking a look at our portfolio, sprucing it up a little bit, getting it a little more current, and then what products can we add in the markets that we serve?
So I know you guys went through a very diligent selection process for your technology foundation. You really wanted to focus on more than just features and functions, how it was really going to support your new business model and the plans that you guys have had. Also recognizing that the pace of technology is adoption and change is happening so quickly. So, what were your strategy and technology requirements and drivers in that selection process? And what were the key attributes that were going to make a difference for your business? And I know you guys really focused in on wanting to make sure that you could use as much out of the box as possible so that you could actually take upgrades really quickly. You could actually do a lot more with that and really realign your business process. So, talk about that whole selection process.
Sure. So we made a decision that this was more than just a technology play. We knew this was going to allow us to transform our business model as well. We have a legacy system like everybody else that has bolt-ons from all over the place, right? All different
Yeah,
systems that are bolting in.
I call it
Yeah.
spaghetti.
Yeah, we call it Christmas lights, the ball of Christmas lights. What we didn't want to do was have one piece of our admin system be brand new and then bolt on all these other things around it. So we really looked at the process of bringing on and onboarding a new client, quoting, all of that, all the way through to paying a claim, which is really the life cycle of our customers. And it was very important to us to find partner. I use the word partner very intentionally to help us through this transformation, but to also help us along the way to make sure that the things that we're asking for in the programming and the building and developing that we're doing isn't just new old process or new old customer service, right? We wanted it to be very transformative. Majesco is really good at saying to us, maybe you could think about doing it this way. Or we always talk about the old wine in a new bottle. That's not what we're trying to do here, right? We were really looking for a partner that could give us end-to-end technology, which will allow us to really scale our business. Right now, I won't get into my dirty laundry, but to onboard a new client, it's
It's
really
tough.
kind of difficult now,
Now,
right? With our go live a couple of weeks ago, we actually onboarded a new group and it took them 15 minutes as opposed to hours. So, I mean, just the efficiencies there is amazing. So, we really looked for a technology partner that not only brought the tech to bear, but also was a good fit for us as culturally in the way that we like to do business. You guys are a very good fit for us. And it's obvious by our relationship and the way that we've worked through this entire process.
yeah, you're right. Picking the right partner, technology is one thing, but the partner is another, and it's a
Mhm.
risky process because there'll be ups and downs. And it's how you really work through it as a partner really makes all the difference, right?
Yeah, it really does. And I think a partner that challenges us is always a good thing, right? We have to stay true to our core values, but we're open to doing things a little bit differently.
Exactly. So, a key part of this foundation that I know you guys are really excited about now, since you've just gone live recently, is leveraging the intelligence built into the core, the embedded data and analytics, both from a business intelligence reporting, but also from the Majesco Copilot GenAI capabilities. Talk about both the strategic and operational importance of this, that it's a part of embedded within your processes and within the solution. And what do you guys kind of expect to get from that? Because you're in the early days, but you have big expectations and ideas about how this is really going to help the business.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, we have data in so many different places and pulling it together and knowing how to understanding it, reading it, making sure that it is what it looks like. Critical, right? So with the intelligent core piece of the Majesco product, we're able to create one place that has all that good data, right? And AI is only as good as the data that's supporting it. That was really very important to us to make sure that as we went through this process, we were creating that place where you have the opportunity to apply the AI. We're in the very, very, very early stages of the platform, pulling it live. I will tell you, when we were at the Product Council, which was amazing, so thank you for inviting us to that, I saw many ways that AI could help us, not just understanding our data and our customers, but customer response, being able to ask AI a question and have us give us the answer without somebody manually having to do that was amazing, just eye-opening. But there are definitely a lot of great potential areas that AI could help us and just become efficient, understand our data, understand our customers. But at the base of it, the data drives it all. If we don't have good data, then AI doesn't help us much.
Now, thinking back to your role from a customer experience perspective, tying that back into, asking AI to give you the information, consolidate the information that you can provide back out to a customer, it really creates a level of quality and consistency because it's going to do the same process every time. That we've struggled as an industry to do that because it was like, oh, this person has much more expertise over here, so they'll do it, versus this person who's relatively new. It's going to really drive that, what I believe, a great customer experience based on quality and consistency, but it's also going to be an employee experience that is going to make their job so much easier and much more fun to do, that they can have that empathy for the customer.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Think about the training process today, thinking about how long it takes us to upskill a new hire to have an impact on that team or that process or that customer. It takes such a long time, but I'm talking months. With AI, we can use that as a tool to help get people up to speed and a higher percentage of capability within their role very quickly.
Another aspect that I was just talking to another insurer about last week, we talked about the efficiencies, and we've been talking about that for decades in this industry. We thought, technology be able to do it, but then it got old. It became spaghetti or Christmas lights, and it became a little bit more difficult. I think that we are on the verge of driving for the first time in decades, and I mean decades, a level of operational efficiency that will drive down expense ratios, that then will make products much more cost effective for people to be able to buy and purchase. And we know that there's protection gaps out there, particularly in the L&A&H industry. People just are not selecting benefits, or they're not buying insurance because sometimes they think that they can't afford it, or the cost is too much. I think we're on the verge of really finally getting to a point where we can really deliver even greater value to customers.
Yeah, you're spot on. And if you think about the customer that Boston Mutual gravitates towards, that we know is a good fit for us, it's really working Americans, right?
Yep.
And, in that underserved market where they're making decisions whether they're paying for accident insurance or am I getting gas this week? Like, there's just a lot to that. And if we can bring the pricing down based on some of those efficiencies, it's going to have a huge impact on what we can offer our customers in future state. So yeah, you're spot on.
We often think about transformation, and the technology gets so much focus. It's really about a big people and culture change. I like to highlight you guys because I think you are like a best practice example of what you've actually done. Not only did you rethink your business operating model and your processes, but you also took the time to understand this is a big change for your employees. This is a big change for your brokers. This is a big cultural change that you got to help people through it. Talk about what you did and how you kind of hold that in and help people along the way.
I like to pull it all the way back to our engagement with Majesco. We knew a couple of things were important. We knew that this getting the technology right was critical, and we knew that we had to put focus on it, right? So we created a team. that all they did was focus on this program, right? We also brought in our project management team, which was they give us the discipline, right? They push on us on the business to say, you sure you need that? We want to stay out of the box, really kept us on track, which is really important. They have a tough job some days. I think on our refinement sessions, they have a tough job keeping us on track, but they do a really good job. We saw that out of the gate that was really, really important. And then we also created a UAT team that was configured with people from the business. So we took them out of their day job and said, okay, this is now your number one priority. So it was really important to have them 100% focused on the program, what we needed from them, and not having it be side of desk, like, oh, I'll go to that or I'll get to that when it's time, right? The other thing we did was we put a lot of work around our employees. And you are so right. The technology is the easy part. And that's taken us how many years? Year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
The next phase of this is getting our organization ready. And it's not just customer experience, it is the entire organization. There is not a team in this company that is not impacted by this new product, right? So we have change management. We're really kicking that off full speed in the fall, starting with our leaders, our people leaders, and we will filter down to our frontline workers, being very thoughtful on who is moving on to the new system, making sure that we're not asking people to straddle both worlds because that's hard, right?
A green screen versus a digital screen.
Correct, exactly. And I'm afraid some of them won't want to come back to the green screen when we need them. So making sure that they're comfortable. We have a whole training team that all they're doing is creating training plans, asynchronous training, hands-on training, SOPs, documentation. We have a system that contains a lot of our knowledge base. It's called Polaris, and it's got all of our processes and SOPs, and we're pulling in all of the Majesco. We call it here BML Connect because it's our system that's connecting us all together. I flip back and forth where we've put all of our SOPs for this program. So really trying to incorporate a lot of training, a lot of support. Listen, let's be honest, there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear around change this big. And a lot of it is just communication and understanding. We communicate on a regular basis with the entirety of the organization. We've pushed out video clips of the system so people can see it and visualize it. And that will really start to kick into high gear as we go through the next 6 to 8 months.
So true. So one of the unique things I think about your business when I talk to you and also Jen and some of your other executives is that you've been very focused on the benefit side of the business for your customers who are employers. But one of the things that you guys really wanted to be able to do is make sure that whether it was a true benefits product or an individual's product as part of a benefit plan, i.e. worksite kind of, you wanted to be able to retain those employees if they left their employer, that you could then be able to grow with them and offer them other products. In today's world, where we've got a generation, the millennials and Gen Z, the number of jobs that they're going to have by the end of their career, it's going to be mind-boggling, I think. I just look at my own kids and it's like, oh my God, in only 10, 15 years, you guys have had more jobs than I had in my entire dark career.
Right.
But many of them want to keep some of that insurance, as they move between different types of jobs and as they go through their life. That was a really important aspect for you guys when you were also kind of thinking about your business model, but also the technology to be able to do that, because you're able to do that on this single platform. You can go from a true group to a benefit to a worksite to an individual product and have the customer supported in all of that. Talk about how that's really important for your strategy and growth going forward.
Yeah, one thing that we've always known is that a current customer is our best customer, right? They bought our product for a reason. We want them to keep it. So today we do connect with our employees when they leave an employer group, and it's one and done, right? It's, hey, you can go on direct pay. Did you know that? mail in a check and mail in this form, right? With our new system, with that portal, we have an employee portal, policyholder portal. We can push notifications out to them, have them log into the portal, have them set up their EFT right there online. Make a payment if you want, make that first payment, right?
Mhm.
Making it easier and connecting with them in the way they want to be connected with, right? You talk about the millennials and all that. They don't want to call us. They don't want to fill a form out. I don't even think, I talked to my 24-year-old and somebody wanted her to send a check from her checkbook. She goes, I don't think I have one. What is that, Mom? Right? So they want to do things online. Of course, we will always have somebody here to talk to a customer if they want to
Yeah.
have that sort of engagement. But having a portal, having a way for them to do things that today they would have to do with a phone call or a form, it'll allow us to connect with them on a more regular basis. And we will pull it together as we work through this transformation. We're not done. When we launch, we're not done. We've got a lot of ways that we'll be able to engage with our customers to let them know we're here for them. And when they need something from us, we're here and however they want to connect with us.
It's really creating that digital experience so that whether it's the customer, the employer, the broker, you're really creating an ease of doing business that is what
Absolutely.
everybody's really wanted to try to get to.
Yeah. And if you think about not just a single policyholder leaving a company, what we've done for our employers, being able to see who's on the plan, being able to pay and reconcile their bill online, that's game changers, right?
Yep.
Having access to, hey, how do I do this? Instead of calling, they can just go online and do that on their own and create tasks for us. And it's a different world. Same with the broker.
Oh,
Brokers are customers too. They've got their
they
own
place
portal.
business where it's easier to place business all the
Yeah.
time. What excites you most about the possibilities ahead with this new foundation, both business and technology that you guys have in place? What excites you?
Oh, so much. All the things that we've talked about up till now, being able to service people, engage with our customers in the ways that they want to be, meeting them where they are, being able to look at new products and get them out on the street fast. That's exciting. Being able to iterate. We talked at the beginning about how we wanted to stay 95% out of the box was our goal. We're probably around 90, 93. But being able to take those upgrades and all those exciting things that you guys are doing in your releases, your spring and your fall releases, being able to pull them into the system and utilize them is going to allow us to keep growing and developing and pulling in new ideas and different ways to engage.
It's really about keeping what we like to talk about it, that are really focused on relentless innovation. And
Hmm.
we're doing that so that our customers can actually focus on relentless innovation because change is constant.
It's constant. And it's amazing how quickly things are no longer current, right? I
Yep.
mean, you're in obviously the technology world, you get it. I mean, it just happens so fast. Your watch, but
Uh-huh.
there's already 3 versions of that watch that I'm behind. I
Exactly.
just got it. So,
Exactly. So before I get to my last question, I want people to visualize something with Boston Mutual Life. And I bet you know what I'm going to ask you to share. One of the things that we talked about is that your legacy system was implemented 50 years ago. You have a picture of the president at that time pushing an actual button that started the system. It was an IBM mainframe at the time.
correct.
And there was this visualization that that was the start of something new. You
Hmm.
guys took that picture and you kind of recreated that history, but with a different picture of pushing a button that was the new BML Connect underpinned by the Majesco system. What was kind of the feeling of that, looking at those two kind of extremes?
It's really funny. We launched the
Mhm.
rocket. We call it the rocket. We launched the rocket on June 30th. And we thought it was really important to celebrate. It was a celebration. It wasn't, hey, we're just giving information out there. It was a celebration of a moment. It was a party. We had cake, balloons, the whole thing. And a few of us spoke. And I'm going to tell you, I felt a little emotional about it. It was just such an exciting moment. And we had our current CEO actually press a button to signify the launch. And people were excited about it. It was just such a great moment. But boy, it was very emotional. But seeing those two pitches next to each other was just amazing. Just what a journey.
What a journey and what a legacy. Down to our last question that I ask everybody. If you could pick one word or phrase to describe the future of insurance, what would it be and why?
So I had to think about this one a little bit. I came up with personalized agility.
Ooh,
The future belongs to those of us who can adapt quickly, but still staying very connected to customer needs and their values. So that's kind of where I landed. I thought about that one quite a lot and played around with it a little bit, but really being able to adapt to all the things that are changing around us, whether it be technology, the political landscapes, societal, all of those things, but still keeping the core of who you are and focusing on our customer is I think that's where we're going to be.
I think you really hit on something important, and that is that the evolution of technology went from automating things, trying to make things efficient, to now we have the power to personalize it. We don't feel like we're just a widget in a process. Everything can be very much personalized, whether it's for the employee or for the customer.
Absolutely. We didn't touch on this too much, but this system not only makes us easier to do business with, but it also improves our employees' lives here at Boston Mutual, what they do for us. It's scary and exciting, which I think those two emotions create the same physical reaction, right? Exciting, but scary. But the improvements in what they do, we have a core of people here that just want to do right by our customers. And this is just going to help them do that in a much better way. And so I'm excited about that too.
Fantastic. Well, on behalf of Majesco and personally from me, congratulations on this first step in a journey. And it is a first step, but it's a big step. And you guys have been amazing partners, and we absolutely love working with all of you and looking so forward to all the success ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's been a great partnership. And again, I use that word very intentionally. We have to be partners on this thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Marie. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, sounds great. Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode of Future of Insurance Industry Leaders podcast. Subscribe to our market leading podcast series available wherever you get your podcast from. Thank you for listening and be sure to tune in the next time.